In Austin, I'm Darenisha Heron. Today is the deadline for Austin ISD leaders to submit their plan to the TEA. Last week, trustees approved district-managed restarts for 3 failing middle schools. Burnett, Webb, and Dobie middle schools received multiple failing grades from the state in recent years. If schools fail enough times, the state can take over a school district. To avoid that, district leaders approved a plan to bring in new teachers and staff to try and boost student performance. If reading and math scores at those schools don't improve by next summer, leaders say a contingency plan to bring in a charter school partner will be implemented. In a meeting last week, one teacher told trustees she's frustrated with how leaders implemented the plan.
Before the plans for the future had been even agreed upon, we had to change where we were going to go for next year. Now we need to find staffing for our schools that have been ripped apart out of shame, and nobody would want that.
District leaders should hear from the TEA by July 18th. And homeless advocates gathered outside Senator John Cornyn's office in Austin on Friday, marking 1 year since a Supreme Court ruling allowed cities to arrest people for sleeping outside. Vocal Texas organized the protests to also go against proposed federal budget cuts to programs that help low-income Americans, including Medicaid, SNAP, and Section 8 housing. Protesters say the cuts to fund tax breaks for the wealthy would be devastating.
People lose their survival gear, they lose their necessary documents that they even need to apply for housing or for aid. People lose their medications. I just spoke to a gentleman yesterday who was swept, and there was no notice from APD. They showed up, they gave them 5 minutes to just gather what they could and carry on their back.
Eli Cortez says since the Supreme Court ruling, more than 250 anti-homeless laws have been introduced nationwide. Vocal Texas plans to continue pressuring lawmakers to reject the proposed cuts. Austin's Homeless Strategy Office is asking the City Council for $101 million next year to fight homelessness. The money would keep programs running and add shelter beds and services. Director David Gray says there are almost 6,500 people experiencing homelessness in Austin. The city only has 1 bed for every 5 of those people. The plan includes more than $15 million to continue programs that will lose federal funding this year, plus $33 million to expand services. City officials say funding this plan and closing a projected budget gap of $33 million means asking voters to approve a tax rate increase. Meanwhile, a group of interns are giving back to the community. They work for a construction company here in Austin and as part of a project decided to create care packages for people experiencing homelessness. Kelsey Sanchez spoke to group members about their mission.
Jamara Watts says she's all too familiar with the growing need to help people experiencing homelessness in Austin.
I've lived here for 10, 11 years, and there's a lot of interns that come out of town, and it was a big issue that they saw even just being here for a couple of days.
Watts is an intern with the construction company Cadence McShane in Austin. So when she and her team were tasked with coming up with a project,
we're putting together a project to give back to the community in a way that is meaningful to them.
It was a no-brainer for Watts.
We wanted to make sure that whatever we did really made an impact on a big amount of people.
500 people to be exact. Watts and her fellow interns created a GoFundMe to raise funds to create care kits that will be given to Caritas of Austin. They're a nonprofit group aimed at helping the unhoused.
We found Caritas of Austin, and they provide, the care kits. They have food banks. They provide dinners to people in homelessness and transitioning out of homelessness. So we just thought it was a great opportunity to hop on it.
The goal is to fill backpacks with all the essentials: food, water, blankets, toiletries, and medical supplies. Staff with Caritas weren't free for an interview Friday, but in a statement they told us these care kits will serve a vital role in meeting the immediate needs of people experiencing homelessness. But since donations have already surpassed that, Watts says they plan to create as many kits as they can until the internship ends this summer.
We want to just do as much as possible in the time we have with Cadence.
That's pretty cool. That was Kelsey Sanchez reporting. If you'd like to help these interns reach their new goal, you can find the link along with this story at KVUE.com. And it was a party at City Hall this weekend for Party at the People's House, the third annual tribute to Austin's Mix of Cultures. It's part of the city's We All Belong anti-hate initiative.
This is an opportunity for all identities here in Austin to come together, to share a diverse space and be able to feel seen and heard throughout the city.
The goal is to build community in acceptance and inclusion. 10 years ago this week, the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed the constitutional right to same-sex marriage across the country. That same year, the Travis County Clerk's Office made history by issuing the first same-sex marriage license right here in Texas. This weekend, the County Clerk's Office held a community vow renewal ceremony. The event also featured a market, music, food, and educational resources.
You know, it shows that 10 years it's still going strong. People still recognize it no matter what. Because like I said, we were together 16 years before that when we got married 10 years ago. And whether they accept it or not, we're still going to love who we want to love, you know. But it's great to see the people come out, all the judges, all the commissioners, all the people who work for Travis County to come out and recognize us and know that, you know, our love means something, you know.
This is the second year the event was held by Travis County. On Saturday, the George Washington Carver Library and Museum hosted the Austin African-American Book Festival. For the 19th year, authors, historians, and activists came together to discuss narratives and history preservation that celebrates the Black community. Paul Coates, founder of Black Classic Press, spoke on how important the festival is to Austin community.
When we bring that experience, the experience of our storytelling together, we should celebrate. And I think that's what we have here in Austin, a celebration of our narrative, telling our stories our way, the way we want them told and how we think they should be told.
Coates says he's looking forward to the 20th anniversary of the festival happening next year. A new sports and entertainment venue is coming to Austin. Developers broke ground on a new 7-acre complex on Menchaca Road called Rush. The project will have 17 pickleball courts, a restaurant, beer garden, and 5-acre nature reserve with botanical gardens. The first phase will open in early 2026, with the full complex expected to be finished by the middle of 2027. We now know the plans for the City of Austin's annual July 4th celebration with the Austin Symphony Orchestra. The celebration starts at 4 p.m. this Friday with musical performances starting at 5 and fireworks at 9:30. The event is free and family friendly. Organizers encourage people to use the hike and bike trail to get to the grounds of the Long Center at Auditorium Shores. Cap Metro will also offer free rides after 5 p.m. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Darenisha Heron.